The sensation of fear isn't exclusive to the horror genre. We feel fear in numerous ways throughout our daily lives. Like making a move on your crush, stepping out to speak to a room full of people, getting on a plane for the first time, etc., etc. Same goes for movies, as there's plenty of moments of fear that unnerve us, make us feel anxious, and uncomfortable in various genres. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 creepy non-horror films. Number 1, Nightcrawler, 2014. This is Dan Gilroy's debut film, and I couldn't be happier with that. It really made a mark on the entertainment level. Jake Gyllenhaal is brilliant here, and I'm not going to try to diagnose his character, but often his character displays some psychopathy. We follow Lewis, or Lou Bloom, an unemployed guy looking for a job, and really awkward when coming across potential employment. Well, one night he stumbles upon a bad car accident and decides that's the route he can go. He's determined to get the best stories ever and to bring them to the local news station. Every night, Lou is scanning the police radio and chasing the story, at any means necessary. Lou is using everybody he can to get to the top. And the way he talks to people just really makes you see how much he is practicing being normal. He rehearses things he wants to say and delivers speeches at the most bizarre times. However, after one story breaks, he is questioned by police, and something is missing from his story. From all the stories, really. I love this film, and it really has that old school vibe of who is the culprit. Check out how the story plays out over on Starz, Hulu, Roku, Billo, Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime. Number 2, Seven, 1995. David Fincher came up with this crime thriller with a twist to the 7 deadly sins. It kinda gives me vibes of Dante's Inferno, but I digress. The film revolves around 2 detectives who are investigating a string of murders. And Somerset, played by the awesome Morgan Freeman, believes his newly transferred partner, Mills, played by Brad Pitt, is not ready for a case like this. There's a lot of tension from the two. Somerset wants to retire, but can't till his case is solved. And he's kind of docile, whereas Mills is a hot-headed newbie. Well, in the city, which never gets a name, things are kind of hellish. Just evil everywhere, decay and destruction, and oddly, always kind of dark and gloomy. On the first day of the murders, we are shown gluttony. Basically, this guy eats so much his stomach explodes. The next day, you got greed, where a lawyer literally cuts out a pound of his own flesh. It's twisted what this guy does to these people, but it's just so elegantly put together and shown. And this has the best twist ending I have ever seen. And no, I won't tell you. But you gotta watch this more than once. And tell me if you can see when they first meet the culprit. Check it out for yourself over on Max, Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime. Number 3, Enemy, 2013. This film won quite a few awards and had audiences and critics alike in a state of confusion. Plus, let's not forget the terror some people have when they see spiders. And there's a giant one looming over Toronto, Canada, where it takes place. There are many themes of dictatorship and fears of commitment throughout the whole film. And there are plenty of quotes and visuals to corroborate this. Enemy stars Jake Gyllenhaal as Adam and Anthony. Adam has a boring life as a history professor, has a girlfriend, and bare apartment. Whereas Anthony is an actor who's married and his wife is pregnant. Two totally different lives. Couldn't be the same person. I mean, one is neat, wears expensive clothes, rides a motorcycle, while the other is messy and unkempt in a way. One day, Adam and a coworker are talking, and out of nowhere suggests a movie. He goes and rents it, but after watching it, he sees himself in the film and goes down this rabbit hole of who this guy is, and eventually, they meet up. Adam gets scared and runs away. So now we're left to question what's going on. How is there two of them? There are many clues as to what's truly happening, and if this is a case of multiple personality or just plain psychosis. But the wife is on this little secret. This film will have you saying, what the fuck, but worth it. I love how Jake can play this intense character, and you just become entranced by whichever person he is. So head over to Hulu, Roku, Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime. And let me know when you figured it out, and if you know the meaning behind the spiders. Number 4, we need to talk about Kevin, 2012. Okay, so don't judge. I honestly thought this was a movie about a guy named Kevin. I didn't know what to expect, and I'm thrilled I walked in not knowing. Lynn Ramsey adapted this from a novel by the same name, written by Lionel Shriver, and received a lot of positive reviews from everybody. Tilda Swinton also gave a performance of a lifetime here. So the story follows Eva, played by Tilda, as she wraps her head around her son, who from a young age shows psychopathic tendencies. Now, I'm not diagnosing characters here, but it seems like there's a real link to psychopathy here. Eva notices that Kevin is constantly crying with her, but quiet with Dad, played by John C. Reilly. Kevin starts antagonizing her and just detached from everything. A while later, Eva has a daughter, and when you first meet her, she's wearing an eye patch. That's a key moment once you get to why. Then on Christmas, Kevin gets a bow and his sister gets a guinea pig, I believe. And after a few days, it goes missing. Eva finds the guinea pig in the garbage disposal. This starts a string of events that just go to show what Kevin is all about. It is slightly demonic, and quite frankly, it's another school massacre in a different way. The ending is bittersweet and really shows the mother's love for her children. I highly recommend watching this one day with a group of friends and having some of these hard conversations with them. You can watch it on Peacock, Tubi, Pluto TV, Redbox, Plex, Amazon Prime, Roku, Fandango, Google Play, and Apple TV. Number 5, The House That Jack Built, 2018. Directed by Lars von Trier, who also did Antichrist, brings us the tale of Jack, played by Matt Dillon. He's a serial killer during the 70s and 80s, with 5 specific incidents that define him. Each one is a death and shows how much he evolves during this time. In the beginning, he is OCD neat, very meticulous to the point he almost gets caught at the second incident. But during this time, we are also hearing him talk to somebody named Birch. And dude disagrees with Jack a lot, especially about the deaths and his morals. As the film continues though, we see Jack becoming more disheveled and not as obsessed as he was before. During another part, he kills his girlfriend at the time and her 2 kids. Even goes on to mutilate one of the boys. It was a hard part for me to watch. But anyway, he continues on. Next girlfriend, he cuts off her breasts, slaps one on a cop car and uses the other as kind of a wallet. And then we're leading up to the final one. And that goes haywire. We finally meet Birch, who asks him about the house he was supposed to build. Jack ends up building a house out of corpses. And cops are right on his trail, and after 2 shots from the cops, he's in hell. This is more Dante's Inferno, as Verge is actually Virgil, and supposed to guide Jack to his level of hell. Then the ending just beautifully closes this film. Make sure to head over to Tubi, Roku, Hulu, AMC Plus, Sling TV, Fandango, Google Play, Apple TV, or Amazon Prime to see which level of hell Jack belongs on.
Hey folks, sorry to interrupt, but we just launched our very own merch store at fatninja.shop. We sell everything from t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more, so we would greatly appreciate it if you checked it out. All the proceeds go to our future projects, so it helps us make any kind of movies and short films that we want to make in the future. So if you got time, check out fatninja.shop. Thanks again, and back to the video.
Number 6, The Nightingale, 2014. Elliot Lester is the director for this HBO film, and there's really not a lot about the movie out there, so you really have to watch it. But the story goes that Peter Snowden is kind of a blogger and confesses to his mother's death, but never uploads that entry. Instead, we see him the next day out of sorts and in different clothing, getting a vanity she ordered just days before her passing, and him trying to convince an old buddy to come over to the house. Well, many people start asking about his mom, and he keeps telling them different stories, which doesn't add up as people talk. Eventually, he confesses to his worried sister Vicky that he has indeed killed their mother. We see the spiral of Peter as the movie goes on. And this is a highly overlooked film and should have gotten more credit. But I am enamored by it. You can watch this over on Max, Hulu, Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime. Number 7, Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, 2011. Cults are terrifying. Honestly, one of my biggest fears. And we won't get into just how active they are even today. But take this film, directed by Sean Durkin, and starring Elizabeth Olsen in her debut role. And it gets under your skin. The film starts off with Martha, played by Elizabeth, escaping a cult she has been living with for the last 2 years. When she gets to a diner to call her sister, and her sister and husband come pick her up to stay with them in Connecticut. Martha seems fine, but soon starts showing some odd behaviors. Going as far as going into bed with her sister and brother-in-law while they are having sex. This throws them for a loop, considering this is not normal behavior for anybody. You can really tell Martha has been through some shit just by her behavior and the look in her eyes. There are plenty of flashbacks to when she was living with the cult, and things she used to do with them, and what they did to her. This film had me at the edge of my seat, clutching onto my sleeves the entire time. Be sure to check this one out, especially if you're looking to unlock this fear level. Either which way, it's awesome. You can find it on Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime. Number 8, Requiem for a Dream, 2000. Based on the 1978 novel of the same name, written by Hubert Selby Jr., Darren Aronofsky did an excellent job bringing this to fruition. With how drugs and addiction affect just about everybody on the planet, this film takes a deep and heavy dive into it, showcasing all the elements and cause and effect of addiction, then the painful reality. Harry, played by Jared Leto, Marion, played by Jennifer Connelly, Tyrone, played by Marlene Wayans, and Sarah, played by Ellen Brunston, make up our main characters, each one facing a different kind of problem, but each seeming to have the same issue they're trying to get rid of, being alone. This film really displays the seasons, summer, fall, winter, and how each one can be represented through addiction. I mean, Sarah gets addicted to diet pills because she wants to wear this one particular red dress on a game show. And Harry, her son, gets into harder drugs. Harry and Tyrone decide it'd be a good idea to sell the drugs, while Marion is just along for the ride, trying to get her next fix. She also wants to start a business and thinks the boys will help her out financially. Well, everything goes sideways, and the road they're on takes them down some dark alleys, never seeing the light. It's so eloquently depicted and can sometimes confuse the audience, but this is absolutely one of my favorites. This film takes everything you heard about addiction and throws it in your face as this is the dark reality of it. Go see this play out, and you may have to watch it more than once to really figure it out, but it's so worth the time. You can see this over on Showtime, Hulu, Fubo TV, Sling TV, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Google Play, and Fandango. Number 9, Buried, 2010. Rodrigo Cortés is a master at displaying fear so intense, how hope can be diminished in seconds, and just the pure emotions one would have if they were ever buried alive. It also takes a great actor to communicate that on the screen, and Ryan Reynolds nailed it. He plays Paul Conroy, who is a civilian truck driver over in Iraq, when suddenly his convoy was ambushed. He's knocked out and wakes up buried. As the picture brightens, we see that he has several items in the crate with him, including a BlackBerry phone. The terrorist who attacked the convoy calls him, telling him to make a video for a very large ransom. The problem, though, is America doesn't negotiate with terrorists. This becomes problematic. Javier calls again, wanting another video, then shows Paul the death of one of his co-workers. All while Paul is trying to get saved from the hostage working group. After a while, Paul gets his hopes up as the group says they found him, but that's quickly shattered. This is so suspenseful, creeps into that paranoia of claustrophobia and taphophobia. Check it out over on Tubi, Pluto TV, Amazon Prime, Google Play, Fandango, and Apple TV. Number 10, Mulholland Drive, 2001. After a rewatch of this film, I feel David Lynch was onto something well before it was a thing. With everything going on in Hollywood right now, it seems fitting to add this to our list. This is a chart topper and noted to be one of the best films in the 2000s. So let's dive in a little bit. We follow Betty, played by Naomi Watts, who's wanting to be an actress, perfectly playing the stereotypical blonde. As she arrives in LA, she goes to her apartment, which is on loan to her from her aunt who has gone on vacation. That's when we meet up with Rita, played by Laura Herring. She was seen earlier, the one who was in the car accident and went missing. She tells Betty she doesn't know who she is, what her name is, or anything about her for that matter. On to the mystery. Rita starts remembering pieces of her previous life, and the duo start to investigate, coming across some sketchy people along the way. Eventually, the girls end up at Club Silencio, and that's where things start to unravel. I'm definitely not going to tell you how this one ends. It's pretty iconic and not what you're expecting. So run over to Fandango, Google Play, Apple TV, or Amazon Prime to check it out for yourself. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located over at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.